Hey guys, welcome back to Higurashi. I believe we're going to be starting chapter 11 of chapter 3, Higurashi. Ha. Okay, alright, chapter 10. I read it right? Yeah, I wasn't really paying attention, but okay. At first I thought it was a dream. I was staring at this strange sheet, not really understanding what it was. That was all. I didn't go after it, nor did I ridicule it. The fact was the boring view was the ceiling of my own room, but I didn't realize that was a fairly long time. Yes, I thought I'd been dreaming, but I had actually been staring at the ceiling the whole time. Lethargy induced by the voices of the cicadas. Even after I realized I was awake, I couldn't draw from the energy to sit up. Everything I would see, everything I could hear, everything was like a television broadcast that already had ended. It was so hot. It was so hot I could choke on the heat. My back was moist with night sweats, and I felt gross. Unable to endure it any longer, I tossed in my futon, finally blood started coursing through my brain. I lazily recalled the long day I had yesterday. The reality as I lay here listening to the voices of the cicadas and yesterday so different from it. I know that Toko's uncle had rehearsed a formulated plan and dug a hole. It was very hot and I was tired, it wasn't hot. And when the evening came, I went to school and called him out on the phone. I panicked for a moment when he asked where the police station was, but it worked out. And then I awaited him to swoop down. I couldn't remember anymore. It was sort of much that I'd like to control my body. In any case, it didn't go so smoothly, but I did it. It was very hard to dig the hole for the body. That feel of the rain pelting down me, I don't think I'll ever forget it. The rain, the mud, and the spirits of blood. This is such a flounder in a swamp. When I met Takano-san on the way home, that was a good, no matter how I interpreted it. It was the most misfortunate and uncalculated thing that ever happened that night. Everything would have been perfect if only I had encountered her. I was just riding my bike and my shovel in one hand through the downpour, really soaked. There's no way someone could surmise I was a murderer burying the body just from that information. And now that I was sitting calmly napping under the morning sun, that's what I thought. Still, the more I think about Takano-san's eyes, it seemed like she understood. Takano-san, she knew that I killed someone, buried them, and I'd been on my way home. Exhausted, Takano-san wouldn't get anything from selling me out to the police. Well, that didn't mean I could feel at ease. I should have killed her. I had crossed such a bridge to get my tranquil life back, and I fell in cheat as a result. But not for the rest of my life. For all that tranquil days starting today, I'd have to live in fear of when they could suddenly end. I may have twisted my ankle dull from total exhaustion. The fact that I couldn't make the snap just when I needed to, I regretted it more and more as time went on. You didn't have a choice, Kichi Imabara. You couldn't have any choice at the time. You were tired. You were a mess. And if you had made the decision, you might not have been able to kill her. She didn't mind just beating you instead. In that sense, parting ways eventually could have been the safer option. No matter how sharp the situation was, she had no proof. Her suspected me didn't match the evidence by itself. Logically, I knew that. But that doesn't mean I have nothing to worry about, does it? Just worry about it when the time comes. No, is it the time to be worrying? It's time to be smiling, right? You accomplished so much just to gain a new life starting today, didn't you? Then you should be happy at this new morning. If remembering the past is too hard for you, then just consider everything up to happen that never happened. You said so yourself. You bury it all like it never happened. Well, your wish came true. Everything before yesterday never happened. So I'll be happy, Kichi Mibera. Yay, it took a hand sleazily. It felt like a silly thing for me to be the one doing it. I hated a sigh from deep in my belly. That sigh got my lungs moving. It felt like I hadn't been breathing until just now. It was enough to admonish myself over. All the dice could have been thrown had already been. And the numbers that turned up weren't bad at all. If I lost those numbers, I just have to give up, I guess. I grabbed the chest of my pajamas and flopped it back and forth. Cool air flew over my sweating body. Okay, nothing before yesterday happened. Nothing at all. I forget it all. Yesterday was all a dream. What time was it? About midday. Getting myself up and going to school this day seemed kind of absurd. But I needed to go. I felt like going to school would be the first step to my peaceful new life. I didn't care how late it was, I would go. I'd go to school right now, get back to the life I had taken as soon as I could. My lazy body immediately became lighter at the thought. I rolled above the futon, bounced onto my knees, and then leaped up upright. Nice. Stuck the landing. I took up a chair to pride at the gymnast-like pose and took a deep breath of fresh air. The brisk winter had been gone for a while, replaced by the crisp air of summer. Downstairs, hey guys, stern talking to my mother. Where were you late last night? Did you get back? When did you get back? When you need to tell me when you will be home for dinner and things like that. But considering the importance of what I accomplished yesterday, a little scolding is no problem. In fact, I even felt like the sort of thing that would happen in such a peaceful life. I listened to everything Henry was so small and stepped out and saw no high overhead. It was around when the lunch break would be ending. They won't probably be worrying about me. I didn't go to the festival now I was in that school. Well, maybe they weren't too worried about it. Since they would have gotten a small piece of news, but a happy one from Satoko today. Here's a small piece of news that her uncle had come home last night. Satoko will probably live her days in never stitched for a while, thinking he might still come home. But eventually those days would end, and following Satoko too would realize her uncle was never coming back, and then Rikachi would quietly invite her and would say, "You can live with me again." And everything would be back to normal. Our lives would go back to how they were before, and that man appeared. Satoko would start one extraordinary smile, complete with those protruding canines, and pull out one of those chaps she's so proud of. I'd probably be her first target of everyone, but I wouldn't be mad. In fact, I might actually shed tears of joy at the return of something so normal. Satoko, she gradually grew back into her meddlesome personality of hers. A man lack of useful life skills was already completely exposed. I wonder if I'd ever be a master of Satoko, but that would be such a pleasant thing to see too. And with such warm but predictions, I didn't feel bad for going to school so late. In fact, I wanted to run there now to get there as soon as I could. Instead, I said to savor the peacefulness of just going to school like normal without running. The world obtained for myself that gave me joy just by walking like this. Yes, the world began of this the very day was something I hadn't won. Without that mommy until feet yesterday, I would never have been able to come to school so cheerfully today. The school gate came into sight. Just then I heard the principal ring the bell that marked in a lunch break. It was a clear, refreshing sound. I stopped to set myself and let myself take it in. Tap, I stopped suddenly, so there was an extra footstep. With that noise, the bloodiness I was feeling throughout my whole body was due into any pore I could find. I just had to replace it. I felt like hundreds of hairy caterpillars were climbing at my feet. I turned back, but of course nobody was there. A single footstep could have easily been my imagination. But the footstep felt so ominous. The extra footstep I had heard after seeing the kind of sun off last night. With everything that happened that insane night, I didn't mind something like that happening once. It had been a hell of a night after all. But in fact, just having one usage was pretty fortunate. But those footsteps should have ended with yesterday if I heard them again today. There was really only one thing could have meant. Last night still wasn't over. It was still ongoing. Still, that insane night forever. The step I heard. This one extra footstep was quietly ridiculing a nonsensical notion that the world starting today was completely different from the one that ended yesterday. My classmates playing in the schoolyard all vanished and sounded like the tide going out. When I approached the school, it felt like that one fuzzy scene had ended and didn't feel good. At the entrance, I took a quick look at everyone's shoe boxes. Satoko Hojo, she was here. Mian was here too, and Rina, of course. Even Rika-chan was here. Tomita-kan and Okamura-kan were here. In fact, I didn't see any missing classmates. If there were any shoes missing, they would have to be my own. I think my shoes off and stuck them in and then took off some slippers. There was a single pair left in the shoe boxes anymore. With that, they returned to their usual rightful state, but as I stepped up to the one floor, I noticed there was one pair of slippers left. Huh? Whose? Satoshi Hojo. Satoshi had never been to school since his parent last year. Until now, we have committed to the same exact act of violence, but I guess in the very end, it went differently. You couldn't make it to school, but here I am. I didn't repeat the same mistake you made. I was about to let myself feel superior about that. In fact, I found now sense of familiarity with him. A misfortunate bond with someone I never met due to following the same fate. I headed down the hallway towards the usual classroom. It felt like it had been a whole year since coming here. Hey, did you forget Kichi and Barrett? Satoshi Hojo didn't really disappear on Tatarigoroshi, did he? Satoshi Hojo disappeared a few days later, on Satoko's birthday if I was right. I didn't know what day it was, but I couldn't say for sure I had avoided Satoshi's failure unless I remained here past that day. I was still living that night of insanity. The teacher saw him come to the classroom. The door clattered open. The one the teacher wouldn't use, so everyone turned out once to see who had arrived. Everyone looked pretty vacant. Suppose I'll greet them. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I do thank you for coming on the way out here today. Silence. When I started thinking of falling flat, someone finally started laughing for me. Ha ha ha. Good morning, Ki-chan. You're pretty energetic today. Yeah, energetic. Maybe you haven't gotten out of the festive mood yet. How? Hearing me on, I mean, those cheerful voices, and then you realize how down those dark feelings that I've been having at the entrance really were. Hey now, festive mood, I wasn't at the festival at all, remember? Before I could say that, Rika-chan smiled at me. Kichi, did he make sure to watch my dance? Yep, he saw it just fine. Didn't you see how big an applause he gave you? And he ignored it when that blockhead Xiang came up and made a pass at him. Ha 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 ha. Take that, Xiang. Wow, that felt good. Mina starts laughing in the memory as she slaps me a few times on the back. So that target practice contest turned out in the end. Dominican was facing me and talking. There's nobody behind me. Does that mean he was talking to me? I mean, Tamatake turned up dead last. Everyone had a good time with the punishment game. Weren't you supposed to be the one last place we could shed? It was such a turnaround when you pulled off the game that chewing gum. I should have expected that from a member of my club. It was fantastic. Putting time like that was a feat only for they were to be allowed to do. Said Okamura-kan, breathing heavily from his nose in my direction. Everyone laughed at it, but Rika-chan had done it. It went against the rules. Rika-chan gave one of her Nipa smiles, so she listened to it in my direction. And I too turned towards me. And then was so embarrassed about how she whispered to me so long I could hear. But really, thanks, Kichi-kan. For what? That giant stuffed animal. I was really happy. As long as I stayed at my bedside, and I made sure to give it the good night kiss before bed, too. How? The class looked at that cheering this whole time. The conversation had been a little bit off. I wasn't quite getting it. What's this? About a stuffed animal. What's this? Come on, we all worked really hard at the festival to get down, remember? The gigantic stuffed animal. The gigantic stuffed animal. Rina seemed taken aback when she answered as she did with a smile. We were having a hard time knocking it over, so we tried aiming at the forehead and rapid fire shooting and stuff. And then he got a whole bunch of guns ready beforehand, shot them all. It was so cool, Hal. Wait, who was this? All the people in the neighborhood association, including the chairman, were praising you so much at the party afterwards. One of them said he fell in love the way with your words. Tozuko Kamiyoshi, the chairman of the Children's Committee, I think. He said he wanted to entrust you with a few of the stalls to the next festival. Takoso is the chair of the refreshments booth. He's on the festival executive committee. Maybe our sounds great and make things sound good, isn't he? Yeah, whenever he talks about something, it seems a lot better when it actually is. I can say that. Kichika would be a great salesman if he did a bargain selling bananas or something. I bet it would be so great. It'll go great. What about have you been talking about? I mean, I didn't go to the festival in the first place. I saw these words. I didn't know exactly why, but in Hinamizawa, this is what happened. Yesterday, during the Tatarigoroshi festival, Kichi had appeared, and he had romped about with all the usual members of his club. He made a big set of few of the sauce, and that's a few sticks of takoyaki and okonomiyata, or whatever. And his glee, which in each of them as delicious or terrible to get anyone excited. And they seemed like guys didn't accept anyone at the target practice game, and everyone went after it. And I got a whole bunch of the guns, firing them in rapid succession, throwing each one after using it. And admirably, I shot down the biggest stuffed animal there, and then I gave the stuffed animal the proof of my victory as a gift. Then our final came to a close as we had to go see Rika-chan's offertory dance. There's a ton of people squeezed in there, and we all got separated, but we managed each to get into good positions to cheer Rika-chan from. Then in the middle, when Sean came up and asked me to go hang out with her instead of watching the dance, I refused. I stayed put watching this to the very end. But who? Who was that? Well, everyone else been saying that, haven't they? Kichi Mibera. I hadn't urged a young anger my classmates were having so much fun talking about the festival yesterday with Kichi Mibera. What the hell are you guys even talking about? First song on that feeling no was the sheer uncanny nature of this reality I couldn't understand. Kichi Mibera, who was in me, was in Hinamizawa yesterday, as I threw away my humanity, turned into a demon, and was busy beating Satoko's uncles to death. I was having a great time at the festival last night. What the hell? I had suffered so much, desperately holding back tears, getting so worn on that downpour, digging holes, chasing, beating, killing, dragging, and burying. Who was this Kichi bear who had ignored me so and spent so much fun and carefree time at a festival, damn it? With the hell stood in front of me as I put my life on the line, working so hard to achieve this treasure like everyday life. There was another Kichi bear besides me then. What was I? On high with Tatarigoroshi, there was one who died and one disappeared in accordance with someone's curse. There was only a demon who had killed someone. Dumbfounded, I succumbed to a horrifying possibility. I looked around my classmates to make sure that nobody extra I didn't recognize among them, to make sure I wasn't among them. It was a horrifying thought that the real Kichi Bear had never slept and had come to school on time, and that who I was no longer Kichi Bear and had just waltzed in here. But no matter how I just had shit, the only people here were ones I knew. The man I met every time I looked in the bathroom mirror was not here. Okay, everyone, time to start the new classes. Please take your seats. President, please leave the class. The teacher entered. Everyone hurried back to their seats. Don't find me, who was so stupidly late. She gave me a stern talking to, but I wasn't listening to it. Was our life supposed to start today? Something wasn't right. It was just strange. I was supposed to go back to the old life. To my old fun life after yesterday. It's different and incomparably mysterious world. It was completely different from both my old life and my recent one, yes. This was without a doubt a different world than the one I've been living in until now. There's no way that such an absurd thing could be possible, but unless it was true, I couldn't explain anything that just happened. In this classroom, I was surrounded by so many faces I knew, and yet I felt so isolated. They could kind of sound no different than I had before now, but they seemed somehow false. The air was parched and dry too, making me think, was the anything so always just uncomfortable? Hey, Rena. What is it? We're in class. About the festival yesterday. About when would you say I got there? Huh? To be honest, I was pretty excited afterwards. I gulped down some cans of beer. I didn't seem embarrassing. I don't quite remember some things. But from a random babbling wasn't a bad excuse. You said you couldn't come my first thing. You called me to his house about it, right? That matched. I called me and told her to take Satoko into my place, but since I wouldn't be able to meet up with them and do things I had to do. You know, to say we were staying at the festival that we invited Satoko-chan. He wanted to bring her out someplace where Uncle couldn't see her uncle for a little while. Someplace, not Uncle, what? Okay, that was the same match. That was the same team. You know, I said that when I called her. And then we had already decided to invite her. And then we all went, Mimi-chan and Mika-chan, to Satsuko's house and brought her out. Satsuko-chan's uncle seems to look a really mean person. That part didn't matter. What I was trying to ask was, when did I meet up with you? How could you forget that? Kichiko, I think you should be drinking until you're an adult. Whatever. When did I meet up with you? Well, my son's running to man. We know it's at loss for words. Oops, I shouldn't have rushed that. I told her I was sorry. It was at Shrine Grounds. It was unexpected. You were talking to Rika-chan, weren't you? Yep, you were having fun with Rika-chan in her Shrine Man outfit. And then Rina came and said, how? I'm taking you home. I was talking to Rika-chan. And I asked about Kicha, and didn't you have something to do today? And you pounded your chest and said it yourself. That letting loose at the festival was more important than some silly errand. I didn't say that. I never said anything like that. I never even went to the Shrine Grounds just to begin with. I never had the time to stop a place like that. I went to dig the hole as soon as I woke up. I had a pretty hard time doing it. After that day, I sunk into the school and made a call. I called them out and lay in wait. And then it started raining really hard. With that kind of downpour, the festival shouldn't have come to a halt. In other words, it ended then. From the time the festival started to when it ended, it would have been impossible for me to swim by the Shrine Grounds. I was already there with Mian and the others drugs that took over and brought her to the shrine. I was talking about Rika-chan. Then, where would Rika-chan say we met? Did you want to wash your hands? I ran over the Rika-chan asked her directly. With you? Yeah, well, we were talking to each other before me and the others got there, right? When did we see each other? When and where? I don't know what you were trying to ask. I drank so much beer I lost my memory. I don't remember a thing. It looked like Rika brought into my babbling. We saw each other when the man and the others came out of the assembly hall. You were in the front of the Ritual Implement Storehouse. I remember that. The Ritual Implement Storehouse. I never heard a building called that before. Or maybe I had, but at least, very least, I want to know on the Shrine Grounds it was. Mary got real angry at you, so she shouldn't go near holy places without authority, remember? Did you forget that too? Oh, she's going to ask anymore. The more I asked, the more it became clear without any doubt that Kichimura was the president of the Food Shrine Grounds during the Tatarigoroshi festival. The clearer that became, the more doubts and no fears I had. Who on earth was I yesterday? Whoever that was, I had a good time at my place and managed to go the entire day without letting them notice I wasn't there. Alright, and then did that person leave everyone? This morning, my mother got mad at me for having stayed out so late last night, which meant at the very least I could keep my bear and I'd come home when my mother was still awake. The festival would have been closed because of the downpour. If I recall right, when I went back to the house, the storage room to get another shovel, I think the clock said 7. Since it's already raining hard by then, the festival would have been closed down before 7. If I returned that early, I would have definitely went to my parents, or at least at the very least they wouldn't have asked me when I got back last night. So the teaching me very from yesterday, that meant he never went home. That meant the downpour happened, the festival was broken, and everyone left, but he didn't go back to the house. That means when I arrived at the natural conclusion, I would get chills suddenly froze my spine and climbed up to my brain. That meant teaching my bear was the same as Satoshi. One day he never went home. On the night of Tatarigoroshi, he never went home. The downpour interrupted the festival, and on the way home, he suddenly disappeared. And I was dealing with the corpse, went home without a problem. I was so tired, I wasn't even hungry, so I crawled up to my room without a sound and crawled into my futon. Who was I? That much was obvious. Kichime Bear was me. There may have been another one, but that doesn't negate the fact that I was Kichime Bear. Another Kichime Bear was what? The voice of the kind of steadily filling the classroom was beginning to bother me. Suddenly I laid eyes on Satoko. Satoko's expression was dark as always. She seemed completely exhausted at a life of agony she couldn't imagine an ending to. What had last night been like for Satoko? Did she have fun with everyone and feel a little happier even for a moment? And when she went home, they never dreamed. She probably got to sleep afraid of when her uncle would return. And then this morning, her uncle hadn't come home, and then she went to school. Or she must have been so trapped by the right idea from where she couldn't be saved. Their uncle would need her when she got back. But you can just easy, Satoko, your uncle won't ever be coming back. I could tell it was because I killed him. Satoko realized her on her own that her uncle would never return, and it would truly be the end of the long and same night. That's right, I didn't do anything wrong. I did the best possible thing I could have as Satoko's Nini. Not an atom in my body regretted it. And the calm down thing Kichime Bear, from a certain point of view, is inconvenient. There was another Kichime Bear. I buried the corpse perfectly. In the beginning, it wouldn't happen. But if the worst getting worse and it got out, the message she got to me. I now had a strong alibi able to profess the fact that I've been at the Tatarigoroshi festival, but accepting this was creepy and using it as an alibi. So if I proved that I didn't go to the festival yesterday, it would have no good and a whole lot of harm. That was what really left actually bad aftertaste. You'll forget about the Kichime Bear. Everything happened before today, so just forget about the Kichime Bear who was there yesterday too. And instead, let's watch Jet and humor Satoko for the day her smile returns, and the day that would mark the end of that insane, all too long night. Oh, this is getting weird. Okay, that's all for today, class. Please go straight back to your homes, everyone. Press in if you would. Everybody stand up at attention, bow, goodbye. I thought about many things and saw many thoughts dispersed by many other things, and I didn't know whether or not that time had been spent worrying or daydreaming, but either way it came to an end along with the classes. Ch.3, our classmates got their things and ran for the hallway. Me and Rena and Rika-chan were packing up as well. What about Satoko? This whole day she seems deflated. Her uncle may not have returned last night, but she wouldn't have known he never returned. How much I wanted to express that fact to her. Satoko packed up her pencil box and math workbook mentally, and after a dark glance at the clock, heaved a sigh. Then we went to leave the classroom, and suddenly somebody placed a hand on her shoulder and stopped her. What is it? I read the plans like I was supposed to, and all the printouts done. Her words possessed by her persecution complex hurt. I spoke loudly so everyone could hear her. Hey everyone, why don't we have a club today? It's been a while. Satoko always had to tend to her uncles. The club has been on hiatus. In our minds, the club was a proof of a calm and peaceful life, but in joining together, I'm going to make Satoko realize her days of darkness were over. I'm okay, I'll do it. Meep. Well, I don't mind. It was okay with Satoko, and their condition, that was important. It was everything up to her, Satoko gave a worried look. Come on, Satoko, it's been a long time, let's go crazy. Well, I'm happy you feel that way, but Michael might already be home. That spoke her dark eyes, her mouth unmoving. You've been choking on life every day for a while, you must be about to suffocate. It's no good for your mind or body. Once in a while, you gotta have some fun. Please leave it alone. It's not like I don't want to do club again. With one word, but she looked down. Satoko, you know I suppose anyone that there's more fun being with everyone, right? We're friends. That means we can spend time with each other. I mean, you had a great time at the festival yesterday with everyone, didn't you? Rena nearly said so, but she was too late. Kichi-san, what are you saying? My arm on her shoulder seemed to weigh her down. She threw it off. What exactly was I planning on having fun at the festival? The only one having fun was you, Kichi-san, huh? I looked up at Neon for help, but now everyone was looking down. My six told me that Satoko hadn't gone to the festival, but Rena said it herself, that she went with Neon to Satoko's house to invite her. Satoko-chan left on her way there. She didn't go to the shrine. Why? I realized the absurdity of what I just said to Satoko in front of me. She said her uncle was waiting at home and she couldn't have fun by herself. We were in the front of the shrine. We tried to stop her too. We told her her uncle said it was okay. Then we wouldn't get mad if she got a good time. I saw part tears began welling up in Satoko's eyes. Satoko was so afraid of her uncle that she couldn't have another time with her friends and went home. No, she was even afraid of letting herself have a good time with her friends. He just said you missed out at night, having a bliss at the festival all night. They told me you went all out there on you. I'm very envious. Someone to herself, her tears began to fall. I must provide for my uncle. It's completely different from you with how you let your parents do everything. Satoko, I'm so glad you enjoyed yourself at the festival. I'm glad you had enough food for me too. I mean, I want to participate in the club too. Making such a racket they wanted so much fun. But right now, I can't. And although was staring such violent emotion and a few teardrops slid down her cheek. Even though she was having such a terrible time, but no one did she ever say that it was hard for her. It was a sad, upsetting, very. The days of Satoko had to feel like that were over. Satoko didn't need to endure it to bear it anymore. She could forget all about it now and smile. I was so frustrated at not being able to tell her that directly. Instead, I said something that I'm not sure I should have said before I thought twice about it. He didn't come home, did he? The words were deeply meaningful to me, but I didn't know Satoko understood them. Didn't come home? Who? He didn't come home last night, did he? Your uncle. What are you talking about, Kichi-san? Satoko shoved all of her might when he was not been there. When? Calm down. I mean, he didn't come home yesterday, did he? I don't understand what you're trying to say, Kichi-san. Satoko, what are you talking about? I mean, that man, I killed him. I killed him yesterday. Killed him for sure, and I buried him. I buried him how? Because he never returned to his house. Even yesterday, he was torturing me so much. He yelled at me. He shouted at me. He found fault with it, and I did. He said it didn't have made him on the floor. He dumped his bullet miso soup on me, too. It was hot. It was messy, and I cleaned all of it up. I cleaned all of it. What? Our stories were matching up. Night? And this morning when he woke up to make him breakfast, he got so mad at me. He had gotten mad at me whether I gotten up or not. Satoko. Rika-chan went over to Satoko, said a few words of consolation. Satoko angrily freezed those words of threats Rika-chan away. Nini, come back, Crying Satoko slowly walked down to the hallway. After a moment, Rika-chan went after her. I couldn't stop. Sorry, guys. I couldn't stop thinking about the words Satoko had spoken while crying. I buried her uncle last night, but she said this morning that was impossible. I buried him last night so she couldn't have seen her uncle this morning. What was Satoko? I just pointed her Mion's cold voice. Hey, Kichi-chan, what did you mean? About Satoko's uncle. Gulp. I said it too much. I let my emotions get the better of me. Rina heard it too. You said Satoko's uncle didn't come home. Why? Why didn't he come home? That's strange. Satoko-chan's uncle was right there somewhere, wasn't he? So why would you say he didn't come back? Kichi-chan, you've been saying weird things for a while. Suddenly, Mion and Rina started to speak in strange, creepy voices. What were they doing? What were they saying? Kichi-chan, is it somehow convenient for Satoko's uncle to be around? What are you talking about? Of course it would be better if Satoko's uncle wasn't here. Yep, that's true, of course, if you only weren't here, right? So that's something wasn't right. And then Sandy and Mion and Rina were smiling and thinly, and their eyes were dark and muddy in a way that I'd never seen before, as their eyes met that mud seemed to fill the air. Satoko's uncle's an awful person, no doubt. I think we'd all be better off with him to gone just as much as you do, but he's here. There's nothing we can do, right? Nothing we can do. Something's wrong. Something's clearly wrong here. What the hell's happening? I feel my chilly liquid feeling this, though my blood has been mixed up with sherbet crawled up my spine, or sherbet, whatever, I don't know. The choice I mean, of course, so is him, but that's what will never. If there's no choice, what will you do? Or, Reno's trying to protect me to say more. There was no choice, so I killed him. I killed him to protect Satoko. Leave him alone. I think things will resolve themselves soon enough. So the coach and her said her uncle was here, so she's here. He was here yesterday and he's here today. She said, so it's fine, right? You know, I speak unbelievably, dismissively, whatever. I don't know what to say. Whoops. How could they be talking like that? You know what I mean? They were my friends. I was seriously worried about Sotoko's abuse, weren't they? And they would have blurted out something like this. And I definitely killed Sotoko's uncle. And no matter what Sotoko or anyone else says, I wouldn't acknowledge it because him being alive was impossible. There's no way he was alive. It was impossible. And yes, Sotoko said he was here, and he was alive. I didn't know why or how, but suddenly Mian and Marina were at my side, standing there silently. Let's go home, Ki-chan. After we leave, Rena wants to go to church for the first time in a while. Ki-chan is coming too. Ki-chan, you should come along. Of course, you're not allowed to refuse. If words could freeze blood, there was no doubt they would have voted me solid. I could hear the layer of thin ice, the sound of all my muscles tensing. And with them closely on my sides, we left the school as if they were police officers taking me away. They talked about silly things about the entire way home, like they always did, but they always stood at my sides to prevent me from escaping. That was strange. Everything about this day was strange. Actually, I've been strange ever since the previous night. This take back had been strange ever since killing Stoko's uncle. You know, I'm just thinking this, but what if the extra step he's hearing is like Kichi maybe hit himself in another world or whatever, and they'll kind of sync together or something. I don't know. That's just my thought. Anyway, I don't know. It's kind of a random thought popped up in my head, but whatever. Let's take it back. It's been strange ever since killing Satoko's uncle. That creepy meeting with Satoko's son was only in the beginning, and saying that was still continuing. Yes, it still hadn't ended. What? What's wrong, Ki-chan? Why did you suddenly stop? I'm sorry, it's nothing. When I stopped, it was distant, but I definitely heard them, and as she said footsteps, that was proof that insane night hadn't ended. I mean, I'm not where she usually did, and we finally. Sorry, guys, hold on. Okay. Myeon left where she usually did, and we finally came to my house. Okay, Ki-chan, wait here for me. Rina will come to pick you up soon. What was it? It should invite me along on one of our oversized garbage trucks or onto the damn site, right? Well, why now? Myeon coming along was strange too. Myeon may have accepted Rina's little hobby, but she headed fishing through garbage, so she'd never come with her before. Because she specifically being the damn site was a little creepy. The damn construction site was completely outside the flow of everyday life. It was so remote that no one ever went there unless they brought thought into, in particular. Nobody lived there, no lights, so the night got dark very quickly. I was being forcibly invited there. There's no reason I had to fear Myeon. Besides, when the trouble I make by refusing to be a pain to deal with, in that way, it didn't seem like going to church or hunting with anyone was a bad idea. But that insane night was continuing. Having the sounds of instinct been wailing in my mind for a while now, warning me that Myeon were strange, that I needed to be cautious. The morning sounds were so freaking loud, it felt like my head was split into two. However, I might actually have something to do. Something to do? Like what? Like what? I just have to do, okay? If he has to do when he said while Michan was there, I already told him to meet us at the damn time before we split up. You know, smiling better words made up this for clear. Sorry, I just haven't missed the opportunity to say so. Really? You're lying, aren't you? You must have made that up now, you liar. That's what Rena's eyes told me. My head hurts. I might have a cold. So I wanted to get checked out and get some medicine. Really? That wasn't really a lie. My head did hurt a little bit, so I wasn't lying. And as she could figure out my head hurt or not just by looking at it, then I guess that's that. I was standing there for every moment she fired sharp, look stare at me. The touch of my body loosened, and I felt like my knees hurt my buckle. If you're going to the clinic, you should go soon. Sometimes they close early. Thanks, I'll do that. Make sure you go, okay, to the hospital. I will. Go for real. I will. So it seemed like Rena had realized I was going to refuse her invitation for a while now. Without seeing she looked, she actually called the clinic later and her shrine went. I couldn't say anything careless. I lied about going about you checked up unless you're sending she to decline her request in the first place. It didn't matter whether I actually went. Yeah, I'll go. If you want, I could bring the bill tomorrow. Oh, that would be good. Be sure to bring it, okay? Another will look at it then. Another will started calling me at my back. Was not ignoring it. Myeon must have been monitoring my movements. That wasn't normal. Far from it. All of it was insane. I did what I did because I wanted my peaceful life back. But what on earth was it all? Was all this? It was far from peaceful, so that I had gone mad, leaving the world out of order. with the other Kichimibera, with those creepy voices I've been hearing, with their name on like so curious, above all, with him being alive. Where was I? Himazawa village Shishibang. I knew that much. Was this really the Himazawa I knew? Hey Kichibera, where is this? I asked, whooping around before the front door to the face of one who'd been flying in my wake all day. Nobody would have been there, of course. Kichibera, huh? That's what I just called him. Called the one who'd been showing me how this whole time. That shadowy presence always clinging to me like it was constantly watching for the opportunity to change places. Footsteps always following me was another impossibility. It could have been a ghost, so it was just impossible. So the strangeness was in my ears, my head, or Hinamizawa. Everything I could see was the same exact Hinamizawa I knew so well that gave me the creeps. Eventually I decided I should go to the clinic. I really didn't want to go outside, but a stronger feeling that desire was a fear of them actually keeping an eye on me to see if I went to the hospital. But before I went to the clinic, there was what I wanted to make sure of. It was at school. I pretended I forgot something and was going back to the classroom to pick it up. I was going to check if the bat's there still. It's just that thought crossed my mind. I was overwhelmed by paranoia. I was just going to the classroom that I hated it so much, having to be so careful to fake it. After carefully verifying once one of them was watching, I went to the locker. Yeah, Satoshi's locker. I kept the gun with the bat from his locker, or Satoshi's bat, and I thrown him out into the swamp, which meant the bat should have been inside. But, what if the bat was still in here? It was a very dreadful, incomprehensible idea, but if it was true, it would explain a lot. If the bat was here at yesterday's events, would have all been a delusional, no, an illusion. I hadn't killed anyone, and I had gone to the festival. I had a great time rampaging about with everyone. It would prove that Kichimibera was really me. Proof that I was only some stranger sushi that I killed Tsutoko's uncle. Proof that I've been in wild fantasy. That would explain everything. Nothing happened yesterday. I just got mad and able to separate my shocking uncle-killing dream from reality. That would explain everything. If the bat was here, would I be able to accept that reality? If it was here, nothing will have changed. If it was here, it would just mean I'd gone crazy. Preparing myself the worst, I opened the locker door. I was actually scared of opening so slowly, so I threw it open with a bang. And just like the first time, choking the small sweat like a stale king flowing out. There was a baseball uniform and some miscellaneous other things like notebooks. There was also a shoe pouch, and that's for the bat. It wasn't here. It was so I let them when I took the bat out. There was no doubt you say what really happened. Now that I knew I was a lunatic, I felt relieved. But at the same time, if I wasn't the crazy one, then himself was, and I was evidence of a reality I just found it difficult to accept. There was a noise somehow creeping into everything I saw, and the world was losing a tiny bit of color. So what did I know about last night now? Now that I made sure the bat wasn't here, I didn't need to be here anymore. Shall I go? For real, to the hospital. It was my first time in the hospital, but from what I heard, it was far from school. No one told me where it was. A big, easy-to-see road went straight there. And when it passed a shopping street, made a turn. It was overly hard to spot the sign with the Ivory Clinic written on it. And there was one other person, an older man there, in an air-conditioned waiting room. I went up to the counter and told him it was my first time here. And the man kind of glanced at the clock and said there would be a short wait. It was almost 5. Oh, like I was beginning soon. As a second this unfamiliar waiting room, isolated from anyone and let myself feel the cool air, I actually felt relieved. What should I tell the doctor when he comes? Every time I had a cold, but I was a very picture of health. Actually, I wanted him to check my head. I wanted someone to confirm for me whether I was really sane or not. Kishin-san, please come to the examination room. There was the other side of the examination curtain. I thought I heard it somewhere before. Hello, this is the first time we've seen each other here. Coach, you are a doctor? Now that you mention this, so I'm around when you look at my shoulder in the nurse's office. It would make sense if he was actually a doctor. Come to think of it, our teacher called him Irie Sensei, didn't she? Well, yes, I'm more or less the doctor here. Doctors have it really good, you know. You get to see and touch all the young, silky, smooth skin. I took them with weird chemicals that make them my slid and have them my personal mates. Thank you very much. Just seeing that they make cold go away. I'll be leaving now. Polite bow. Whoa, wait. Maybe our son. I joke, it was a joke. Come on, sit down. Let me take a look at you. I'll need to use my stethoscope to show me sucking smooth chest from her son. Besides me, I felt really relieved. After that insane night, as much as I thought it, I'm not crazy. Coach was here doing the same thing he always did. I was very happy for that. You don't seem to have a cold. Actually, those grapes and cutlery are the most painful thing. Don't tell me you're playing in the bushes with short sleeve and shorts. I mean, I can say for sure you've been infected with tinnitus. And I was just see that man was being skipped by bits of trees. I didn't realize I had so many cuts. You went local crazy to the festival yesterday. Enjoy that while you're young. And once again, I apparently went to the festival. Coach, did you go to the festival? Yes, of course I did. I may be a doctor, but I'm also on the Tatarigoroshi Executive Committee. Did you see me there? This coach was the same coach I always known, and I felt like I could just ignore than my weird friends, so I asked. Well, actually, I was drinking the main table with the chairman and others the whole time. I didn't go to see the festival at all. I don't think I saw you. Oh, that was a strange question. Did you have too much to drink to forget about what happened last night? And nice too, you betcha. Coach all laughed. He didn't laugh in a natural way like I did. Coach was okay. He was a coach from all I knew. He was someone from this abnormal world. Well, this was all my segment over here to you, but I want you to hear me without laughing. Let's go ahead. I apparently welcome him to any shy bashful words you might have as you come into your secondary six characteristics. Could it be possible that I have an identical twin? Coach, I didn't expect that question at all, and couldn't say anything for a moment. But then he smiled calm and quietly answered. This is superstitious, but I heard before that everyone has two other people in the world who look just like them. If there was, I certainly wouldn't mean it, no. Also, there are plenty of fairy tales where a person's doubles appears. The Germans ones about doppelgangers are probably the most famous. Doppelgangers? Yes, they look exactly like another person. Apparently they herald misfortune. If you meet one, you're sure to die soon. I think that's what it went. When you meet them, you're sure to die soon. The starting directly in death playing the simple, and it made my spine tingle. Clark was a sentence that scared me, though. He was just offering a casual antidote that made it far more real. Have you ever heard of one of the same trip in Himisawa? What? Ha. Well, I can say that I have. Ha. Coach thought he was being teased, so he left and exaggerated away. But when I didn't swim along with him, his laughter steadily grew fainter. I'm sorry, well, I was sort of being serious. No, I apologize for laughing. Was this what you were worried about? I wonder if I should tell him that it was only my final time I slowly spoke. I didn't go to the festival yesterday. Is that right? Well, there will be one extra, and then you can. That's not what I meant. I didn't go to the festival, but according to everyone else, I was there. Could that even be possible? I had to blink in his eyes in amazement. Coach thought seriously about what I was trying to say. He answered, choose my words carefully. Let me make sure I have this straight. Remember, I went to the Watanga's festival, but I don't remember, am I right? I was trying to say something completely different, but I suppose in the same festival comes to that conclusion. That night, Jimmy was actually at the festival, but I was saying I didn't go. That obviously meant my memories were going there to film me, but that was absolutely impossible. That vivid act that I committed during the comport couldn't possibly have been an illusion. All these scripts are body proof, and that's the fact that I was in the locker. No, that's not a coach. I really didn't go to the festival. Please don't take offense, my best son. Have you ever heard of an experience where you were suddenly somewhere unfamiliar and couldn't remember why? No, and I didn't lose my memories or anything, because while the festival was going on, I was definitely doing something else. It wasn't like I was asleep and unconscious or anything. You certainly want to do something else. You certainly want to do something else. I know I'm being awfully rude, but are you sure you're not mistaken? I know I'm not. My memories are clear as day, and they were real. In the festival, you wanted to shine, and you weren't doing something somewhere else. And you definitely prove that. That's right. Like it do brought me to this. There was only one way to prove that I was at the festival yesterday. And there was sure to show it. No doubt I killed the uncle. Coach, I'm in shock and answer inside looked the code. I guess they would. After all, from Coach's perspective, I'm just a weirdo spreading nonsense. Would you like to lay down? Maybe you should take your life to take it easy for a bit. Sorry, I didn't really come here to lay down. You seem a little worked up. Why don't I give you a sit at least sleep for a bit? That way, I'm not being strange. Coach didn't realize that he was shitting like a diva and raised his voice. I apologize if I offended you, so please calm down. I definitely go to the festival. That's the truth. I understand. Please calm down. Take a deep breath. No, you don't understand at all. Coach was staring and something. I don't understand, my bear son. You didn't go to the festival yesterday. Is that right? I believe you. Coach shut it down and put on his records. He was writing it in German, so that his patient wouldn't know what it said. But I couldn't make a good guess as what he wrote. You don't believe me until I tell you everything I was doing all the time, will you? No, I believe you. Please sit down. Before I said, I took my hand all back. The blood in my face all drained out, and I quieted down. After taking a deep breath, I'm sure I was calm now. It would have been impossible for me to be at the festival, because at the time I was... Should I tell him or not? I really didn't want to go living like this, feeling this horrible. As I said them fatal words, because I was killing Sotoko's uncle at the time. I could smell the concrete in the room. I could feel the air on the sharp, and nobody moved. On the 7 o'clock ticking total time, and it stopped. With his mouth wide open, Coach even forgot to blink for a little while. You killed Stickle's Sharon's uncle? Yeah, it's fine now, Eugene Barrett. Don't hesitate. I made it with all your strength. Yes, last night I did it. I killed him. I spoke clearly. I could easily tell the coach's mind had gone completely blank. Why would you? No, that was a foolish question. I believe it was the most direct one to the San Francisco, so I carried it out. I don't have any regrets. I see. Coach Welly standing out of bed, so I couldn't believe it had been at the festival. I looked the brightest at my house with the darkness of the outside. As I dug holes and made phone calls, I had my hands full, and then I attacked him, killed him, and murdered him. It was pouring hard at the time. The festival started that evening, but it's been due to the rain. There are no gaps in my memories. From the late afternoon until it started to rain, there was no time for me to possibly have gone to the festival. And those rooms, are they from that? Yes. There was a road through the forest near the Stickles' house. I attacked him there. He ran, but I chased him and finally killed him near the road that leads to town. Is that true? Then her uncle was just a wild fantasy. I could tell the coach didn't believe me. So I spoke slowly and not letting myself grow excited. It's true. I killed him with Satoshi's bat. I threw him and her uncle's motorcycle into the swamp. I dug a hole, killed him, and buried him. I did it all by myself. Sako-chan's uncle drove past here in a motorbike, did he? Didn't he predicted he'd do that and just waited? I assumed he wouldn't be leaving his house that day, so I allowed him on the phone to get him out. You called him, but your house is so far away from Sako-chan's. I won't think he'd be able to make it there, so I sent to calling him. I used the phone closer to where I was going to attack him, the one at school. My mirror son, it was Sunday. I wanted to school had been locked up. I forced Ernie happened to go inside for a bit, assisting me while I had the chance. After that, Coach grilled me on a few different things regarding the incident. He made sure to question me carefully, looking for any contradictions in my account. I'll believe you. What you did yesterday doesn't seem like a journal. I explained everything, including minor details that only someone who actually committed the act could explain. I could, of course, it was only yesterday. Coach realized that my story had no expert coincidences or too convenient details that would have existed in a daydream or delusion, and finally to believe me. So you still think I was at a festival and lost my memory? Coach slowly shook his head. But anyone in class who said I was at the festival yesterday, is that even possible? No, it's not. Your class was probably mistaken for someone who looks very similar. When just given how psychology works, anyone just assumed that you had been at the festival. They could have mistaken me. Mion and all the rest of them spending time with Kichi and Barrett. It was much more fun than just mistaking someone else for me. But saying it out loud, Coach was just confused, Coach. He spoke to me in whispered tones. Did you feel guilty at all? It didn't sound like he was criticizing me. And if he had, I would have felt he said the same thing. I don't. I did that so I could return to the peaceful days he's stolen from us. So I planned to forget all about having to kill him and live my life as usual. Once Satoko's regular smiles returns, the one from before he showed up, everything would finally be over. And he just said someone witnessed the crime? I don't think so. If someone had seen me, I would have already been arrested already. I am a doctor. My job is to save lives. So if I cannot make any statements to the effect of condoning the taking life of another's life, I could not wait. I could say the effect of condoning the taking of another's. Okay, so instead I will say this. Coach slowly rose and placed a hand on my shoulder. To say with Satoko-chan, thank you. Coach's eyes started sharing in more tears. When I looked at my sister, feels some tears of my own. I didn't know what I was crying for. And so for a little while, the two men in the room fought back to the tears. But it's strange. What is? I'm sure I killed him. Yes, he was to return home. Coach's expression immediately sharpened. Oh. But they were in a situation there are many ways that mere unconscious can't look like real death to lay a person. Do you think it's possible he was just knocked out? I didn't check for a pulse, but I'm pretty sure I did it, man. Can I ask you to produce a situation in which you attacked my bear son? Coach showed up at Health Fitness week poster nearby enough for the to represent the bat. Though I may have been lost so much to meet at the time, I remember that detail the number of times I swung the bat, and the angles I had swung from him, and the force I applied. The coaches are standing for the uncle. I reproduced them over and over, one by one. And when they shipped the fell, I bashed him in the top of the head like this. When I did, it felt different from the other strikes. I thought I cracked his skull. Coach was calmly analyzing this information. He said, "Place that stroke the situation in her hand to find out what the uncle's body had been in." I wasn't totally sure he was dead, so I hit him a few more times until he fell. Did he react at all? At first, I sort of felt his body jolting with every hit, but eventually that stopped too, and he didn't react at all. The coach folded his arms and said a few times, and then he spoke. He's dead. There's not much doubt about it. He didn't just look like he was. I guess very safe from the story myself. I think it's almost certain. Because you buried the corpse in the mud, and then you took quite a bit of time, right? Let's say you took 30 minutes. So, I mean, it was buried in muddy water for those 30 minutes. Even when we for that long, your brain will die no matter what. You mean even knowing how hard I hit him, he would definitely have died while I was burying him? That's right. It's impossible to stay alive buried now for 30 minutes. Impossible, you're right, but since Ghost says she's alive. Coach, a doctor just gave his stamp of approval that he was dead for sure. Now he made it seem all the more unfair that he could be still among the living. Never some. This is a really horrible idea, but is it possible the person you killed was actually her uncle? Huh? He's right. That could be why it cleared up the inconsistency of definitely having killed someone, but him still being alive. There's no way. I mean, we were both at the Sicko's house when she was bringing out his alcohol inside, and there's a man who stuck his face out the window to look. It was him, right? That was Sicko's uncle, right? Yes. You're not wrong. It was that man. Could she have more than one uncle or something? No, not that I've ever heard of. It's just him. Could you tell me what he looked like? Well, his height first. He was about 175 meters, maybe a little bit taller. In order to limit the responsibility that I killed someone else, Coach began to thoroughly compare what the man and someone looked like with what I told him the person that he looked like. Well, no matter how my description went, none of the characteristics differed. Uncle Ch.3 and Coach were all exactly the same as the person I killed. Those traits were all extremely vague, and they weren't particularly distinct at a glance. Could you, well, is there anything else you would list didn't blame for sure? Not that much I've never seen it, but I believe Higurashi once said a long time ago he had a tattoo of a tiger on his back. A tattoo? That was really important. Anyone had a tattoo. If I found a tiger on the back of the man's corpse, it would be proof that I killed the right one. At the very moment, though, there was another thing like this would verify this. Go to Sicko's house. See it for myself that uncle had returned home despite having died. But that was far more terrifying than looking at the body and looking at his back. Without even looking at the tattoo, I knew for sure that one I killed was Sicko's uncle. I cracked his head open and killed him. And then he had gone back home. There was any misunderstandings or even the shadow of a doubt in my mind that I'd killed him. And yet, it's impossible for him to exist. Kind of like Kankichi Mibera being at the festival despite it being impossible. That small commonality made me feel as though a faint but bizarre force was permitting this insane Hinamizawa. I wonder what on earth could have happened, despite you not going to the festival and killing Satogo's uncle. We were at the festival and the uncle killed us alive. None of this makes any sense. When you look at everything they say, it looks like I was just having a nightmare. There's no killer at all. But I told the truth, as if just I used my own hands and let bat the bastard man again and again. It was no illusion or dream. Coach let out a slow sigh and let the look at the clock got up. Let's go over all that slow more seriously. If you'll excuse me, I'll go put some tea. I'll go put on some tea. I need to let the clothes after all. I need to let the other employees leave. Coach stood up and went out into the hallway, leaving me alone. The clock was about to strike 6. I was at the festival and the uncle I killed was alive. Had I really committed murder yesterday? I was for a fuck to prove that it happened in the absence of that bet from Satoshi's locker. In any case, I was glad the coach had taken my nonsense seriously. I just confessed to a murder. Normally that would frighten the person right away, but Coach didn't run it. He cried with me. I was glad he did. Like so, my attention smoothly melted away, and I suddenly realized that I really had to urinate. I thought to use the restroom while Coach had stepped out. There was one across from the waiting room. As soon as I left the room, I saw Coach taking the doctors wearing red clothes, standing in the shadows of the hall nearby. I didn't particularly intend to eavesdrop with them, but I was quite surprised about noticing how easy they seemed. Hi. Sorry guys, but those just really stuck for some reason. I hid behind the wall and quietly listened in. They said the coaches gave directions to the 2 doctors. Black tea, I'll make some. Mix it in Morbital, or rather no. Cover the taste with milk and sugar. He can grow suspicious that he have onset of drowsiness. It's possible that he may get agitated and become violent. We will handle that. How many male staff are still here? One mountain dog, including us 3. What was all this? I think I already agitated despite what Coach said. What was that? Was it just a casual conversation? He was uncertain and unbelievable to me. Coach said he would bring some black tea and left the room. And then the shadows just saw some words put some live sleep powder in the tea. Plus there was getting extra help in case I thought the sirens had been so suspicious and started getting violent. Hey, Wakichi Nabara, calm down. There's no way this stupid could be happening. I mean, he was shooting and listened to my story and he would cry with me. I thought he was the one person he was who would understand. This was. So the fabrications of falsehoods, and his memories are yesterday in particular are completely confused. He could no longer tell truth from falsehood. He's quite similar to multiple personality disorder, but as far quickly this until disorder emerged, it's not just normal. Maybe he's inborn, or perhaps there was signs of it before he moved here. I like to take a look at it anyway because he was staying at a mental hospital before he moved here. In any case, I want him to take a quiet nap. The two doctors nodded deeply. I should probably contact my American's parents too, though I can't think of what to tell them. Please find his home phone number for me. My eyes still moist, began to shed tears once more. This was too cruel. I really thought he had actually understood and had to believe what I told him. But now from the other side of that wall, he was blatantly shitting me like a crazy person. I believed you. I believed you. I let down my guard because I thought you were the only one ally I had left after that insane night. That was a lie. All that about taking me on Pacifico's behalf, where you just pretending in order to keep me placated, or placated, whatever. My tears fell to the floor in frustration. I was an idiot. I was such an idiot for believing that bastard. I heard footsteps approaching the doctors. A man in a dress shirt and no-tie comes running up. Dr. Irie is terrible. They found Takano-san. Takano-san? Wait, where? But well, apparently they discovered her burned corpse in the mountains of Gifu. She's dead. Takano-san? The men, all surprised, exchanged glasses. Dead. Takano-san? Hey, wait, so does that mean when I question her wishing for her death, that wish goes granted? What do you mean, burnt corpse? Was that an accident? According to the Gifu police's statement, the possibility is extremely high that she was murdered. As I cried out quietly, serves you right, serves you right. If I didn't run into that woman, my murder would have been perfect, but she just kept driving after me and tried to coerce me like that. I regret not having killed her on the spot, but now she was dead anyway. My wish for her demise was fulfilled. Serves you right. Serves you right. Risa-san died and Takano-san died. What on earth could be happening in Misawa? Don't tell me this year was all the was almost cursed for this year. I could all let the curse be real, Coach said. Anyone of us that just nodded and Coach cursed, I know one in particular. Yes, maybe it was earlier still someone, but this was definitely a spell. Of course, I wished for her to die, so she did. If it was just a coincidence that she died because I wished for it, and you'll die next, Coach. You betrayed me. You pretended to believe me, but deep down you thought I was a madman. You looked down on me with like a pity in your eyes. But now, get back to you already. I'll bring you inside and thank you that anyone besides me along with, shit. What did I do? Kichi Nabera. This time I heard the voices of a nurse. Dr. Irie. Oh, there you are. You have a phone call. I'm a little bit stimulated, so you please tell him I'll call him back. Well, who is it from? Mr. Oshii from the Okinawa Police Department. She's for the bad timing. Alright, I'm not sure. Coach had to go answer the phone. The other man headed towards the room with the tea about to make the black tea like Coach had ordered them to. Fortunately, Coach having that phone call meant there'd be extra time for me to act. I had to decide what to do now. Would I let him make me drink the sedative and his tea, or be held down to a mental hospital? Nothing would come from starting a brawl here. They had me more people anyway, and they were all bigger than me. If I got into a fight, I didn't stand a chance in hell. If I couldn't win against them, there was only one thing left to do. Run. Adrenaline suddenly rushed through my brain, and how my body started to move with the keenness like it had on that night. My surface temperature quickly cooled, and that transmission routes between my cells enlarged. Using 360-degree visual information, I surfed an escape route. I opened no window behind me. Outside was a parking lot. There were no cars. A little bit I know it's possible I'd taken to get here. I had determined this would be the quickest method of escape. I approached the window swiftly, but the little sound to the raise as low sufficient as I could. With the speed and size of his shadow, unlike I had on that, I chased our uncle. I unlocked the window and opened it up. A cool evening breeze swept it in. I stuck my head in and out and looked over the parking lot again. Nobody in sight. No need to hesitate. I quietly called outside and closed the window behind me. However, I listened carefully. I might have never realized I'd run. I looked around, now jumped on my bicycle and zoomed away. My pedals clattered under the force. Had my back already creaked like this? Did the pedals always unwind every time I pushed down on them? My back was the only one crying now. My tears as the wind. The tears fell as the wind cut through them. The rope breeze scattered me. Urgh. I hate this. I'm not the crazy one. Hinamezawa is. How did they treat me like a madman? Die. Just die already. I believed you. I knocked the spell in order to escape Minamiya's invitation, but the reality was waiting for me had been too cruel. Who was it saying, me or Hinamezawa, or was it something else? I started having trouble breathing. I didn't have any clue what was happening anymore. The loud trips of Higurashi were irritating me. Were the evening images of Higurashi I knew so well calling into the wind? No, that wasn't quite it. They weren't calling, they were crying. The pain welled them, those lost in some kind of rhythm and another world no longer able to return to their own sunlight. I didn't do all that they'd have in a world like that. Next year, about this time, I might have been having fun with everyone else. Suko would have gotten his smile back after realizing her uncle would never come home, and she might have shown it to us the first club meeting in a while. That was the kind of world I wished for. So, what was this? Why did I end up in such a strange, ghastly world? So, everything I killed was living normal, and I enjoyed myself at the festival despite not being there. I don't want this strange world. When did it go wrong? When? No matter how much I thought about it, I never understood. I rose swiftly and returned to my home. It had begun to rain during my journey back, and just like yesterday, I was now soaked. I didn't care about something so trivial right now, but the pain in my heart that coach not one person I trusted was acting so cruelly was far worse. That I had no allies in him was over anymore. Within I thought that only one of my parents decided one day I stepped up to the front door. Wait, Ch.3, it'll be dark soon. Anyone to check, right? Yes, I wanted to dig up the man's corpse and look at his back. There was a tug of tattoo there, and I'll be undoubted he was Tuko's uncle. That long night won't end until I was certain. If this sane world was all reparation, all divine punishment, then I needed to make certain whether I was successful enough to even deserve pay that price. I went to the strange storeroom and got a shovel. It had been washed in the rain, but the pain was peeling, making it unsightly. I never ever wanted to touch this thing again. The sensation in my hands was totally different from that before. There was a ruthless coldness about it. Yeah, it would be dark soon, so I needed a lantern too. There would be a little bit of a light from the street lights, but it would be extremely dark. I thought it would be a lantern here, but I suddenly noticed it was anywhere to be found. Then it hit me like a bolt of lightning. Of course, that night I hadn't brought the lantern back with me. I left it in the place I buried the body. I didn't go get it soon, it would get very dark. Not only would I be able to find the spot I buried the corpse, but I wouldn't even be able to find the lantern itself. If that happened, it was all over. I needed to hurry. In order to fit the stone in the basket in front and back, I needed to twist and disassemble it. But it looked like there was dirt in the joints, and no matter how hard I pushed, it didn't want to come apart. After a strenuous effort, I realized I couldn't get it apart, so I decided to hold it in one hand and run my back with the other. With the downpour soaking me through and the shovel in one hand and riding one-handed, it was as if I returned to that night. No, return was the wrong word. It was more like that night never ended. The pain of the raindrops striking me were no different from that. The thing was as if it was hidden in the world and nothing else. And the rain clouds were already making it dark, and now it was about time for the sun to set. I could tell it would only get rapidly darker. And a strange road leading to town, and in the middle of it, that should be where I buried it. Yes, it was near that street light. On that night, the water from the downpour splashing down from the streetlights overhang like a waterfall. The pouring rain was exactly the same as it had been that night, and thus I brought my memories into focus. I left my back in the brush and stepped into the forest, the ground already soaked with mud. Where had I buried him? Think. The darkness, the shadows, the water, the mud, everything was the same. Think. And then I spotted the lantern by the fallen tree. That's right, I left it there. If I left the lantern then, I would have buried him over here. But there's such a setting in the sludge, my feet remembered the spot better than my eyes did. I plunged my shovel into the ground, and it was hard. It was in here. I just dug it up so it should have been softer. I stick my hands down on the shovel and feet spots to test what they feel like. One of them clearly felt deeper. I recalled what the lantern was for the trees and plants in relation to each other. I knew they had to be here. Under here it says that man's corpse. There would definitely be the tattoo of a tiger on his back, but if it wasn't there, then I had made a horrible mistake and killed someone completely unrelated instead. I wanted to be more days after I felt that so Tuko's uncle was dead, and I regret having gotten someone else mixed up in this. If this same world was punishment for the sin of committing murder, I wouldn't have been able to accept it until I killed Tuko's uncle for good. And then without any fear, I'd attack him again, and then that time I would kill him for sure. But what if the tattoo was there when I was killed Tuko's uncle? But would that be terribly strange if I killed him for sure? And who was the uncle at Tuko's house this very moment? Impossible. If I didn't even know anymore when I was using the word impossible to refer to. I've used the word quite a few times today. If I had made the worst impossible fit just one thing, what would it be? This much was obvious to me. It would be impossible for this crazy world to be real. I shall then turn behind me. There was nobody there, of course. It had been bothering me for a while, but those footsteps had followed me this entire day. And if just now an extra footsteps had splashed behind me, no one was actually there, no indications of anyone even. But they were there. Who are you? You've been following me ever since I came to this world. That's right. Thinking back, the first time I heard those footsteps was after Takano-san and I had parted. Those footsteps were when I walked over to the strange inside-out world. No one could be there. I got no response. Whoever it was, it just kept staring at me. It was an ominous, just unpleasant. After staring into an empty space for a bit, as I bathed in the rain, my logical anger slipped away. My attention loosened and a tired feeling reared its head. I tasted this feeling that night too. The sudden exhaustion and felt the tension in my brain loosened. My vision quickly narrowed, and I felt like everything around me had suddenly gotten darker. I couldn't give in to the sensation. I would light what little explosives were left in my brain and forced myself to keep going. I needed to dig up that man before my stamina ran out. I needed to see the tattoo on his back. I caught myself sighing a ragged breath and calmed down. Then I stuck the shovel onto my soft, muddy ground again. It felt exactly the same as that night. The sense of digging a hole in the beach with the water coming into it with every wave. What day was today? Had I gone back to the land of Tatarigoroshi? Every strange thought that had come to mind tormented me. Given my exhaustion, I don't think I could manage to hold those thoughts back. Once I was this deep, all my illumination finally faded, blanketing my vision to jet black. It was probably the moment the sun fully set, too. That night I had feared the worst and gone without using much light. My senses were so strained I could see, even in that darkness. But now I didn't have that kind of strength left. I tried everything I had last night, and now the darkness would be lethal. I decided to turn on the lantern, put it on right first setting would make it give off a faint light. Even with how little there was, it would have been enough. And people wouldn't be able to see it from far away in the stream. I grabbed the chilled lantern, turned the dial with a click, set it to the weakest light, saying, "Turn it on." And not kidding, world of solar has appeared before me. A complex, strange, shadowy world created by the intricate entanglement of trees and branches. I only turned on the light, and it was like that was all it took to make the world into something else. I let a quick, tired breath, wiped the liquid, neither rain nor sweat from my brow. Then I raised the shovel into the air and slid it into the mud. In a moment, the silhouette surrounding me almost all moved at once. Inside my head was packed in there, so the course was not hot or cold. It was loudly rushing about. The silhouettes were all around me, looking down at me. One of them, a silhouette bigger than the others, stood forward. "Good evening. The moon for sure is beautiful tonight." The coordinates of my brain shot through my whole spine, looking at my waist. The strength in my body all up me through the hips, and I crouched down with a splash into the sea of mud. I dug myself. Oishi. Is that really how you just your elders? You'll have a rough time of it once you become an adult. It was Oishi, but 5 or 6 of them in a row, men wearing raincoats. I know England, and this many people had gotten so close. It was like once I turned on the lantern, they just appeared there, sliding out of the shadows. "Please don't mind us, just think of us as trees in the forest, perhaps." "Don't mind them?" "Yeah, expect no such to us. Please continue digging your hole." It's very late and raining hard, and you're working pretty fervently. We won't get in your way. Please dig to your heart's content. "No, thank you," I said. When I tried to get up, I turned around. 2 men blocked that route. They stood on either side of me and lifted me up with amazing strength and threw me into the sea of mud. As I took the mud bath, I digged for myself. I looked up at the silhouettes down at me. Oichi squatted and picked up a shovel and threw it at my feet for me. It bounced loudly off the mud and hit me in the face. Please, continue. I could bear the oppressiveness of the silhouette surrounding me and slowly I stuck the shovel into the mud again. I felt like I was digging my own grave. I kept digging. It wouldn't matter whether there was a tattoo or not, because that man's corpse would appear eventually. It was all over, surrounding on all sides and nowhere to go. But I could just figure it out, no matter how much I thought about it. Why were they here? Was it Takano-san? Was there only one person who could have made the connection between me and this place? Shit, I knew it. She deserved to die. Stopping so soon? Bam. Oishi kicked me in the back, which took me by surprise, sending me and flying into the mud. Hurry, and Nick, please. You really should consider the fact that someone was standing out here in the rain. Fuck you. If you're home after the hand, just go home. Grah. Oishi kicked some mud to my face. Work, please, instead of talking. Only people from the red light district do both at once. Is that right, boys? I'm around him, didn't react, and knowing whether they should laugh, but when Oishi glared at them, I started mumbling out pink chuckles. Yes, who was this guy? I knew the world changed after that night, but if I went even further back, didn't it start when the guys showed up? Those are no peaceful days have been taken from us. Ever since she showed me him, so things have been hard. Anyone stopped smiling, the world went crazy. Yeah, the ground under my feet gradually got harder and heavier. I went to spine, even I started to think something was odd. I didn't burn him this deep, and then I might as well should peek, and I sat down on the spot. How long do you want me to dig? Because he says I have no stamina. Hey, you. I wish he's just I mean, I'll pull it out there on and sit and look his shovels. As I watched the days, one of them grabbed my collar, jumped me out of the hole, and threw me to the ground. The rest of that men stepped into the hole I dug and started shoveling themselves. As I stared at them dumbfounded, Witchy sauntered over and squatted down to look at me directly. He should be a better sign. Is this a hobby we were digging holes on rainy nights? When I didn't respond, Witchy took one of the 10 buckets they were using to build up that muddy water scoop from some of my splashed the whole thing on my face. Cough, cough, cough. The rain is heavy today, too. No matter how would I get, I still don't understand the appeal. She swelled over without the scoop of another bucket of muddy water. I'll ask you again, is digging holes on your end that's your hobby? Who the hell would have a hobby like that? Splash. She hit me with another bucket full of muddy water. The pebbles in it stung. Well, when I reached it in that hole, I've always liked that story, about the old man who could make plains blue and probably dig in his yard for gold. As he spoke, he ran the bucket through muddy water again, just splashing my face again. What kind of church is buried down there? Can you at least give me a hint? If you want to know, then dig your own time, you fucking pig. I wasn't saying that loud, but she eventually just mean muddy water again anyway. Shit. If only should have the world wouldn't have gone wrong. Ever since she should have, things have been strange. Shitoko got abused by her uncle. I ended up killing him, and the world went crazy. He was how it all began. Because of this culprit. He splashed another bucket of mud in my face. My sense were seething with anger. Die, you died too. If I have some strange power to kill someone by cursing him, Takano-san, then you're dead. No, but you always chose I was cursed. I'll be mine. I'll curse you and kill you. When a belly is look your mind, why don't we use the opportunity to teach us things in that regard? We really do live at peace these days. When I was about your age, corporal punishment was the norm for everything. Oishi-san, one of the digging man Ranko's wipes with the sweat of Higurashi over. Oishi tossed the bucket away and turned around and he will grin on his face. Yes, what is it? Please look at this. Accept this early resignation. I want to say there, so your blockheads fucking found it. Yes, right, I'm the one who killed them. But you're the police, so it's your own job to figure out who he is, right? Come on, prove that he's released to goes uncle. What on earth? We think it's a no pipe dream. It's the because of the irrigation channel over there. That special thing is still being used, is it? The man all exchanged glasses and hesitantly approached another topic. She saw the ground there is pretty hard. I don't think anything could be deeper than this. Did we get the location wrong? No, at first it definitely felt like the place had been dug up before, but after digging so far, the ground suddenly hardened. We think we got down further than the hole was originally dug. So what does that mean? There's a hole here, so I'm going to fold it back up. Is that what you're trying to tell me? What? What are you talking about? Ha 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 ha. Well, I'm at a loss. Aren't you? My better son? I wish you got my call and dug me to the huge holy dug. The moment sounds like a notion. I couldn't see any drain pipe down there. When I man started with the shovel and let me hear it clanging against something hard. And so that burden right here. But I hadn't burned him this deep. I didn't dig it when it was underneath the entire drain pipe. So, and then, this man, his corpse, where was it? Proof the evidence that says all night was gone. Gone. Then what on earth was I? Was I actually possessed wrong, just possessed by the delusion that I killed someone? That couldn't be. It was unmistakable truth. It could have been an hallucination, but now the most important evidence that it had been illusion was gone. Killed him. I buried him. I have unwavering confidence in that fact, and that I failed to kill him. As I left here and he started breathing again, called, I'm going back to Stucco's house. Was that it? I had come here to see whether he had a tattoo or not, and yet the truth I unearthed was far more than that. What was I killed him. I buried him, and there's no doubt. But for some reason he lived and called back out, and that was impossible too. I'm so tired of hearing "no impossible" over and over. I get it. Dead people don't like to play with the rules here in Ninavisawa. I'm not curious which times I need to. I'll keep calling you until you never show your face just to go again. Oishi and Nana's were muttering to each other. Eventually, their conversation ended, and Oishi came towards me. What did you want to say? What did you want to do? I stood to tease it enough, and then Oishi just ignored me like I wasn't there and passed right by me. That meant too, they ignored me and shuffled away. Eventually, it was no longer silent, anyone was around. And I returned to my quiet world of silhouettes. The only one left was me. The only sound of the pouring rain filled up the silence. I wonder if this is the end or if it's a break, because my throat is killing me, man. Aw, man. 75 minutes without a frickin' break. There's no halfway point. Anyways, guys, I will see you later.